From the depths of the vault, this is, you know it, it's Eerie's Vault Live, your number one stream, number one for the uncanny, the weird and the unexplained. Yes, good evening everybody, good morning, good night, good afternoon, good middle of the day, wherever you are in the world, whatever you happen to be up to at the moment, welcome to the show. This is indeed Eerie's Vault Live, and I am your host, Lehan Eerie. I'll be opening up the lines at some point during the evening, and I'll tell you how to be on the show when that happens. But as always, let's begin with a shout out to my beautiful patrons. So we have Baroque Lobster, Mr. Buster Piles, Catman, Todd Van Voris, Farson's Finest, John Douglas, Greg Russell, Gaynor Smith, E.J. Osborne, Emu Cat, Pamela Pepper. I don't know why I want to say that in a sort of, what's his name? Arkwright. Pamela Pepper. Andrew Dewey, Keith Say, Pill Collins, Rudolph Hooker, Ryan, Craig McClellan, Zach T, Sawboss, Gregory, Amanda McNeil, Natalie Leach, Chris Slee, Heather Maund Jones, Melv, Aaron Osborne, Steadbot and Ginger Ninja, Ben Hurl, Vincent Hegeland, Iron Bug, Paul Redruth, Baby with a Laser, and Bizjidish 143. That's right, Bizjidish. Exactly. Yes. I am a little underprepared for tonight's show. I feel rather like I haven't prepared particularly well. Ordinarily, I feel on top of the game, but I'm going to be frank with you, Vaultsketeers. I'm frankly exhausted. I don't know about you guys. I don't know why. It's been a terribly long week, I think. So yes, I'm rather exhausted. However, the show as it is must and will go on. Of course it will. So let's take a look in the chat today. We've got Theme Queen UK who says, howdy, howdy Theme Queen. Now, Theme Queen, I think you messaged me with an alternative name to Vaultsketeers, didn't you? And I think I rather liked it, and I cannot remember what it was. I'm very sorry about that. If you want to email that to me again, if you could remember it, that would be rather good. Although I do like Vaultsketeers, I just want everybody to hear this alternative, because I remember liking it, but I can't remember what it was. So we have Darren. Good evening. I hope everybody's well. Yes, just exhausted, Darren, but it's good to have you here. Fleur Bell is with us. Hello, Fleur. Farson's Finest. Oi, oi, he says. Oh, it was the Mother Shippers. There we go. The Mother Shippers. Yes, I did like it. Very good. Buster Piles is early. This is unlike you, Buster. Are you sure there's not some sort of secret spy thing you're supposed to be doing between now and 9:30-ish? Or is this just a cover for your next big event? Purple Pipkin, hello there. And Marinus, who says good morning from WA. Hello, Marinus, or Marinus. So we have people from Australia here. That's lovely. Welcome to the show. Darren Jump. I've said hello to you already, but I will again. Tools says, hello, everyone. Are you ready for another spooky evening? Yes, indeed we are. Wilfredo Diaz says, good afternoon from NYC. Hello from New York City. WM Steadbot, evening all. Good evening to you. Harry Webb, good evening, Harry. And Liz is here. Liz, good evening. Excellent video about The Cage. Thank you very much. It's actually not doing very well, unfortunately. I found myself in the dizzying world of YouTube analytics over the last several days, looking at graphs and performance and click-through rates and search engine optimization, and frankly, it has baffled my little old brain. So I don't know why that video is not doing as well as the last one that's got about 5,000 views in about 3 days. But we shall see. This is the nature of the beast, isn't it? I do feel like this channel's taken quite a hit recently, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's YouTube not promoting my stuff anymore, or if I've become stale and boring. I really don't know, but I hope it starts going the other way again, because it was really climbing pretty well. I was on quite a roll there for a while. It was very encouraging. Johnny, hello, Johnny, says, evening, Eerie and chaps and chapess, says, hello, Marky boy, hello, Marky boy. William Kane is here, hello, William. Jan, good evening, Jan, who says, good evening, Eerie Buster Flairleys, look at that, look at the crew and everyone else, indeed. Oops, I've skipped very quickly there. I scrolled a little too quickly there. Isn't that terrible? Mr. X, hello, Mr. X. Is this the Resident Evil Mr. X? Because, you know, I don't know if anyone played the Resident Evil games with Mr. X. Yes, he's quite the cad, isn't he? Yes, he is. Who else have we got? James Glass. Hello, James. Welcome. Michael Mishler. Thank you. Never stale or boring. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. From MN in the States. Somebody educate me. Which one's MN? MN in the States. Somebody tell me. Lots of people have had videos fall off. Oh, right. So it's not just me. That's good then. That's good, because it's a bit discouraging, isn't it? Oh, Minnesota. Thank you very much indeed. Isn't that where Rosen Island is from? In the Golden Girls, I believe it is. Yes, it's a little discouraging when the metrics don't quite line up. But I don't know. That's my problem and not yours. I shall not moan about it. However, I didn't mean however. I meant anyway. Yes, I meant anyway. Let's have a look at a bit of eerie news, shall we? So according to the Daily Record, there's a Scottish road that sends shivers down drivers' spines that has been crowned the UK's spookiest drive. That's right. A new study has named a road in Dumfries and Galloway Britain's most haunted, known for decades of ghostly sightings and eerie occurrences. The chilling title comes from Indigo Care Hire's Spookiest UK Road Trips Index, so clearly we are dealing with an authoritative publication here, which examined eerie routes across the country to uncover where drivers are most likely to encounter the unexplained. They should have partnered with me for this, shouldn't they? I was in Dumfries not so long ago, actually. Researchers assessed haunted heritage, accident history, and online search interest for ghostly sightings, giving each route a total score out of 100. The A75, running west along Scotland's south coast, from Gretna to Stranraer, emerged as the UK's most haunted stretch thanks to decades of terrifying tales involving phantom hitchhikers, mysterious figures, vanishing vehicles, and sudden knocking sounds. Sudden knocking sounds. For me, it's when the engine management light comes on. That's the most frightening thing that happens to me in a car. Cherry Carter, director at Indigo Care, said, the UK is packed with folklore and eerie legends, but few places send a shiver down drivers' spines quite like the A75. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's something thrilling about venturing down a road with a story to tell. Just remember to keep your eyes on the road at all times. Well, among the most famous reports came in 1962 when brothers Derek and Norman Ferguson claimed to have witnessed a series of bizarre apparitions whilst driving along the Kinmount stretch around midnight. Now, I think I've seen flashing in the chat somewhere. Yes, it was James. There it is. James says, yes, especially the Kinmount Strait west of Annan. Yes, quite right. There you go. There you go. Oh, and what's this? This is... Oh, Johnny, yes, I can. I can say hello to Ethan. Hello, Ethan. I hope you're enjoying the show tonight, and I hope you enjoy the many, many interesting, spooky and scary and well-researched videos of Eerie's Vault. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the show. Yes, it's a bizarre car, Buster Piles. It certainly is. Anyway, these brothers, Derek and Norman Ferguson, claimed to see a large hen, flying towards their windscreen before disappearing on impact, followed by an old woman running toward the car with outstretched arms, and a screaming man with long hair is likely screaming, "Have you seen my chicken?" Possibly. They also reported being surrounded by strange animals, cats, dogs, goats, and other foul and strange creatures, all of which vanished later. According to their account, the temperature suddenly dropped, and when the brothers stopped the car, it began to rock violently. That'll be the impact of the chickens, probably. Derek stepped out, and the movement ceased, only for the brothers to then see what appeared to be a furniture van driving towards them before it, too, disappeared into thin air. The Scottish Paranormal Research Group, which investigates unexplained activity across the country, has catalogued a long list of such encounters on the A75. The team notes reports of vast processions of spirits marching along the carriageway, some said to resemble Roman soldiers, visible only from the knees up. A haunting image believed to stem from an ancient ground where the levels have changed since. I understand that. Another frequently reported figure is that of an elderly gamekeeper seen standing by the road with a shotgun in hand, silently observing cars before disappearing into the night. And if you're interested in the other 9 of the top 10, then you have the A75 Ghost Road at number 1. We have the A666, aka Devil's Highway, at number 2. Number 3 is somewhere that I was 30 minutes away from the other day, and because I was so tired out, I was on my way home from an event that I'd been at all day, and all day I'd been saying, oh, let's pop into this place on the way back, and when it came to it, I just had to go home. I was so tired, but it's the Stocksbridge bypass. So we were heading from somewhere Nottingham way, and we'd have gone up past the Stocksbridge, well, sort of past the Stocksbridge bypass, but it would have been another sort of 30 minutes out to there, and then 30 minutes back, and then all the way back up to my undisclosed location in the north, which isn't far from some of these roads, actually. Bluebell Hill is the number 4, and I've done a video about that, haven't I? Dark Hedges, never heard of it, number 5. The Whitby A171 is number 6. Skirrid Mountain Inn Route. I don't know what that is. Snake Pass. Now, Snake Pass, isn't that where the Sheffield incident was? I think that's Sheffield. A3, the Devil's Punch Bowl, and Ballygally Castle Route. There you go. It's amazing how much of the UK I've never heard of. Faceless Figures and Mysterious Music. Ghost Stories from English Heritage Sites. This is from the Guardian, of all places. Alerted to an intruder, the security guard at Chester Castle knew something was up when his normally fearless dog refused to leave the car. When the guard investigated, he felt 100 eyes upon him, but he could find no one. The cameras did, however, record a strange, faceless figure walking in front of the main gates precisely where the medieval gatehouse once stood. English Heritage is not saying that the mysterious figure was a ghost, nor is it saying it wasn't. Of course, this is the 24th of October, so this is from today. Spooky season, isn't it? Of course. The sighting was reported with rare documentary evidence after a call-out was made to a site-based staff for examples of strange goings-on, whether it was unexplained noises or eerie sightings at properties that include abbeys, castles, stately homes and Roman ruins. The response, said English Heritage, was overwhelming. There was a disembodied hand at Belsay Hall in Northumberland. Chilling, unexplainable piano music through the walls of Bolsover Castle in Derbyshire, and a sighting of what appeared to be soldiers disappearing into the woods around West Park in Bedfordshire. Michael Carter, the curator of history at English Heritage, said the accounts added to centuries-old traditions of ghostly stories associated with England's historic landmarks. This isn't just a collection of modern fabulations, he said, using a word nobody's ever used before. People can believe what they want about ghosts and ghost stories, but what I see, it's as being a historian, is an extraordinary new iteration of the telling of supernatural stories associated with ruins on historic sites that go back to the 16th century. Antiquarians started developing these sacrilege narratives about the fates that would befall people if they despoiled former monastic sites and the spirits that were somehow guarding them. Then going into the 18th century, you get the birth of the Gothic, and now it's how these ruins have got all these ghosts associated with them. And then you get the Bram Stoker Dracula, which is even more sinister. His dog, the size of a small bear, apparently, that's a big dog, isn't it? Cowered, whimpering in the car. The control room insisted there appeared to be an intruder caught on camera and encouraged the guard to investigate thoroughly. He found nobody, and there were no signs anywhere of forced entry. The incident was not an isolated one. Louise Fountain, a property manager at Bolsover Castle, said there were so many that they had a book for visitors and staff to report them. We've had people walking through our garden and they felt a child's hand start to hold theirs, which is really, really spooky, she said. Other accounts include someone who lives near Houghton or Houghton House in Bedfordshire telling a volunteer that she came every Friday lunchtime to look up at the same ghostly figure in a window. At West Park, the sound of a bouncing ball can be heard in the staircase hall long after visitors have left. That's suddenly the end of that story, apparently. The ghost of a bouncing ball, that's going into the Japanese realms of Yurei, isn't it? Ghosts. Certainly is. Buster says, I like to think that Eerie lives in a 60s bat cave with a pole to slide down, an Eerie mobile and a secret road that's hidden. Do you know? That has now become my life's ambition. Thank you for that, Buster Piles. I think that would be excellent. Don't you? I think that would be excellent. Just on the border of England and Scotland, a eerie bat cave. Yes, I could do that. But what costume should I wear? This is the thing, you see. What costume would I wear? The legend, here we go now. The legend. Now, you know how much I love my strange humanoid stories. Okay. This one gobsmacked me. Are you ready? The legend of the vegetable man. Yes, the vegetable man. How a blood-sucking alien left its mark on West Virginia. This is Fairmont, West Virginia. A lesser-known encounter with an extraordinary mountain state cryptid is still capturing the imagination of West Virginians a half a century later. On a warm day in July of 1968, in the hills near Grant Town, Jennings Frederick was hunting for groundhogs when he heard a high-pitched noise that morphed into a telepathic cry for help. According to Michael Strayer, a children's author and co-host of the Moth Boys podcast, a mysterious being, which is now known as Vegetable Man, spoke mind to mind with the astonished hunter. The creature told Jennings Frederick telepathically, "You need not fear me. I wish to communicate. I come as a friend. We know of you all. I come in peace. I wish for medical assistance. I need your help." As Frederick began to run, so would I, a tall humanoid creature with yellow eyes stalked out of the brush and grabbed his arm with suction cup fingers. Frederick said it hypnotized him as it drained his blood through its fingers. Strayer described the event in more detail during an episode of the Moth Boys podcast, which covers news of the strange in the Appalachia, notably lore associated with the Mothman sightings, hence the Moth Boys, of course. He feels needle-like fingers go into his arm and start siphoning blood, Strayer said in the podcast. He looks up at the creature's face, and the creature's eyes start twirling different colours, putting him into a hypnotic state where he doesn't feel the pain of the blood being suctioned from his arms. Approximately 7 feet tall, the Vegetable Man, according to Frederick, had a semi-human facial feature and a plant-like body with a tuft of hair on its head. Once the creature had drained him of enough blood, the experience lasting only a minute, it tossed Frederick to the ground and ran away in jumping strides. The pain returned to his arm, and Frederick lay on the ground, and he heard a whirring sound, which he said he believed was the creature's aircraft taking off. Admittedly, Strayer says, the tale of Vegetable Man is brief, and the creature was never seen or heard from again. However, the story is remarkable for its singularity and its association with a peculiar UFO researcher. The only encounter that has ever happened with the Veggie Man was a man seeing it while hunting and getting blood sucked out of his arm, Strayer says, noting that the encounter may be categorized as extraplanetary. Some people call it a cryptid. I would be more on the side of an extraterrestrial or alien visitor. He adds that world-renowned paranormal investigator Gray Barker, that'd be a good name for a dog, wouldn't it, reported the encounter in the March 10th, 1976 issue of his newsletter, though many researchers take Barker's recounting with a grain of salt. Apparently Barker was known for hoaxes. There's always a but hoax, isn't there? In fact, the encounter with the Vegetable Man was not the first paranormal encounter of the Frederick family. According to Barker, Frederick's mother had an alleged encounter with a small green creature in its flying saucer in 1965. Obviously, Gray Barker is tied to the story, Strayer says. He and Jennings Frederick had a long-standing relationship where they wrote to each other because that is not Jennings' only encounter with weird stuff. His family has had weird encounters, but some people think it's a fake story because of Gray Barker's tie-in. Yes, isn't that a shame, really? But a Vegetable Man, and I wonder if I can, let's do this thing where I try and stick this image on screen. I never intended this, it's not a podcast, is it? Let's call it a show. I never intended this show to have a visual element, because I really wanted to evoke the old Art Bell coast to coast sort of vibe, you know, but this, I need to show you this, is what I'm saying. So bear with me while I try and load this thing up for you. And I think if I switch there, that's going to put the music back on. So if I go to this one, the perils of live, I was going to say television then, I don't mean television. The perils of live stuff, isn't it? Yes, right. So, flip. If I flip to that, you should still be able to hear me. That's the vegetable man. That's him. What vegetable is it? It's very spring onion, I think. I find him to be very spring onion. That's about the long and short of the image. Maybe I can... Oh, I don't know. I've done something wrong there. Maybe I can switch this bit. There, look at the rest of him. He's like a spring onion. What do we think of that, guys? Is it asparagus? Yes, he could be asparagus, or he's a bit carroty, isn't he, on the top of the head? I certainly would not like to meet that thing. Let me tell you, Turnip Man. He's a... Maxley wins the joke of the year. He's a rapscallion. Yes, there you go. That's a scallion is a spring onion. And it's normally what I call them, but I thought I would say spring onion first. But yes, he's a rapscallion. Very good. It's not really scary, though, is it? It's not on paper. But I think if it was 7 feet tall and sticking needles in your arm, one might be given to a little bit of fear in that instance. I certainly would be. Anyway, I don't know about you. To take part in tonight's show, there are a number of options. You can send a message on WhatsApp, giving a brief outline of what it is you want to discuss, and then wait for my call back. Alternatively, for UK residents, you can call direct on 0141 673 3743 to join the call queue and get through to the live show. And for listeners in the US, you can also call on 929 673 3743. That's 929 Mr. Eerie. That's a New York City number. And if you're too shy to call, then you can always email eeriesvault@gmail.com with your story or your theory, whatever it is you want to talk about, and I can read it out for you on air and state. Remember, this is your show, and I am waiting for your call. Strange encounters, theories about the paranormal, questions about some of the cases I've covered on the channel, whatever it is, as long as it's weird, I want to hear it. Call now to be on Eerie's Vault Live. This is Eerie's Vault Live, and I am your host, Leon Eerie, and this is your #1 stream for the weird, the strange, and the unexplained. So it really is that easy, and let's very quickly have some rules of the road, which we should do really. Every week we should really do that. So you've seen how easy it is. The numbers are on screen here. I will be switching the phones to live in a few moments. And that's how you do it. So there's several numbers. 0141 673 3743 for the UK. The USA, New York City number 929, and that's also 673 3743. It's 929 Mr. Eerie. And of course, in the US outside of New York, it's 1929. And people from other parts of the world, we have the WhatsApp number for you as well, which is 07 903 775 899. The rules of the road? Well, no bad language, please. No politics or hate speech. We want to talk about paranormal, interesting things, not modern madness. The numbers are on the screen, as I say. What do you share? You can share things that have happened to you, things that you have heard have happened to other people. You can have opinions on known paranormal cases. Maybe you've got something you want to say about Bigfoot. Maybe you want to talk about Nessie. Maybe you want to talk about the Enfield poltergeist. Maybe you want to talk about the Mothman, or I don't know, something like that. Maybe you just want to talk about it. That's fine as well. Maybe you've got some questions, some good book review suggestions. I've got a couple of those in the emails, actually. All that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be a thing that happened to you. You can just chat. If you're too shy to call, you can email. As you can see on screen, running across the top, you can email something to me which I can read out for you. And of course, by participating in a call, you do consent to being broadcast live, because that's what we're doing, and possibly edited in clips that usually go out sort of Saturday, Sunday, and, well, no, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, usually, I think, is when I do it. And yes, the phone lines are not open just yet, because I've got an update from Farson's Finest first, a very brief one, but I wanted to begin with this, and then I shall tell you when the phone lines are open. So, Farson's Finest, at several weeks ago now, told us a story that is still up there on my list of best stories I've heard, if I'm honest with you. And if you recall, or if you didn't hear, a very brief recap, Farson's Finest was in some woods in Canada. Now, correct me in the chat if I get any of this wrong. This is what I remember. Was in some woods in Canada, somehow got separated from a group of friends, and then decided to sort of go around a lake or something, or, you know, have an explore. Came across a pile of deer that had been, I suppose eviscerated would be the word, destroyed, hung up in trees, I think, as well. And it seemed like a bad place to be, so our chap, Farsons, thought, I'm getting out of here. At which point became aware of a noise, I believe it was. Now, I thought this was going to turn into a Bigfoot story, which would have been exciting anyway. Okay, but what it turned into was that Farsons, our chap Farsons, saw across the water, or perhaps before he got in the water, I'm not sure. I think it was across the other side of the water, which served as a natural barrier to, essentially, it meant that Farsons didn't get eaten by the creature that he had seen, which was something in the region of a 7-foot-tall, giant, bipedal anteater. Yes, anteater. That's right. Gosh, what's it called? It's known as the Ruby Valley Beast or something. However, Ruby Valley isn't Canada, but it looks like what is described in the Ruby Valley Beast encounters, okay? A giant, think Bigfoot, but with an anteater's head. I mean, that's what's in my mind. All right. So, Farsons was chatting to his ex-wife the other day and mentioned about the time that he saw this beast, and she told him that they went back about 2 years ago, and the ghost town they were heading to, oh, that's right, they were going to explore a ghost town, is just gone. Everything torn down, and the gas station that they stopped off at was gone as well, and there had been a few deaths due to undisclosed misadventure, and the place was gutted following it. A load of the access roads were blocked off with enormous boulders, and the place has essentially been left to be overgrown by nature. What would cause such a place to vanish? Essentially create another ghost town. That's what I want to know. Terrible sight to have witnessed. Thank you, Farsons, for the update. Did they ditch because of the creature? I'm going to say yes, they did. That's what I'm going to say. We're switching the phones to live right about now. So the phone lines are live at the moment. So you can call in if you wish. I do have some case files. We're getting a nice collection, actually, of case files over on eeriesvault.com. For those of you who don't know, at eeriesvault.com we have a submit your own case section. And if I just head over there, actually, to eeriesvault.com, on the case files page, we've got quite a few. 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. We've got 18 on there, which is pretty good. 18 you've probably never heard of before. Okay, so if you've got a case that you want to submit, head over to eeriesvault.com, case files, and submit the case. It's really that easy. Okay, we're going to head over to emails now. Now this is a big one. Okay, and this is from John, and oh, bear with me just 1 second. I'm interrupted by a call. Let's do this. Hello, good evening. You are on Eerie's Vault live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes I can.
Eerie, how are you getting on, mate? You okay?
Not too bad, not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Let me get some signal, mate. Hang on.
No problem.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Am I alive now?
Yes, you are.
All right. Sorry, people. All right.
That's all right.
My friends have. Do you know Malcolm Robinson? He was on your show a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes, we interviewed Malcolm, that's right.
Yeah. He's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to give you two encounters. What happened in 2021.
Smashing.
Both of them, Malcolm got at the time because I'm very good friends with him. So both of these encounters, if you need any verification, they're both written up on Word documents, and Malcolm's got receipt of them, basically.
Sure thing.
So the first one is, well, I'll tell you a bit about myself. My name is Billy. Work on the Canal Network. Been in the rail industry most of my days. Became a teacher, taught rail engineering. Became a consultant for the rail industry. Did that for a number of years. Became a teacher. Went offshore on ships and stuff as chief engineer. So I'm not an idiot. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm nothing special. I just come from a council estate in Manchester, single parent household. Do you know what I mean? So the first incident was it happened in 2021. I was a railway consultant over in Leeds. I was living in New Mills, 15 Union Road, and I was driving between New Mills and Leeds every day. I went over Woodhead Pass every day and came back. He was talking about Snakes Pass and stuff. So finished work on the Friday. I was staying 15 Union Road. I was in an attic room. I had all the attic. Me and my mate shared this big property. It's got a shop front. It's got a cellar. There's 4 floors. The attic was basically my space. So I finished work on the Friday. Had an easy Friday night. Went to bed the Saturday night, and I slept my window open. I had a big attic space, and I had a Velux window. Sleeping with my window open. Anyway, the early hours of it would be onto the Sunday morning, somewhere between 3 and 5. Yeah, I woke up. There was this noise in my room, right? And what the noise sounded like was like. I don't know if you ever had budgies, right?
Yes,
like
yeah, when I was a kid,
together.
Yeah.
They made this little noise together, don't they? Like they sort of talk between themselves.
Yeah, a little bit of chatter.
Does that make sense? Right. So this noise woke me up, right? Anyway, I wake up, and I mean, whether you believe it or not, I mean, obviously this is the show for it, right? But next to my bed was an alien grey, and it was stood next to my bed, and. It's always been the chills thinking about it now, like, and the room wasn't in complete darkness. There was a full moon that night. I'm pretty sure. My Velux window would let light into it and stuff, and it stood next to my bed. Anyway, I put one elbow on the bed and I sort of sat up, like facing it, and that noise I could hear. Right, as soon as I opened my eyes and looked at this thing next to my bed, that noise completely stopped. Right, it went total silent. Right, that noise woke me up. Anyway, I'm looking at this thing right now. Do you know what it is? I've got no family area. Right? I've got no aunties, no uncle. I've never had grandparents. No aunties, no uncle. Yeah. My mum, she's like elderly. My dad's dead and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, see in my life, I'm quite a spiritual person, right? And I've got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what I did, Eerie, I put my hand out to it. Right, and it put its hand on my hand, right, and this heat went through my body. Yeah, it was like it didn't cook me. It wasn't like a total immense heat or anything. Yeah, I tell you what the feeling was the same as. I don't know if you've ever been in hospital and you've had like a CT scan and they put a liquid into your body and you can feel it go right around your body. Maybe some of your listeners would understand this, right? But it was like this here went up my arm and it went all the way through my body, right? Now my feet on the end of my bed, right, started to lift, right? Now I'm not saying I was levitating or anything like that, yeah, but my feet like started to sort of get dead light, if that makes sense, and sort of lift up, yeah. And you know what I said to him, right? I said, hello, baby alien, right? I'm not scared of anything, really. You know what I mean, right? Anyway, it holds my hand, right? And I've got this heat going through my body, and it just started to get too much. So I pulled my hand away, and then it just sort of vanished, just like that, right? Anyway, I thought, pardon my, I thought, bloody hell, I thought, right. Anyway, I didn't have to look around my room or anything like that, right? It had gone, yeah. Anyway, I got my head back down. I woke up at 10 in the morning, right? And I phoned my cousin, and I told him I've got a cousin, right? Quite a distant cousin, anyway. I told her, she's like, probably like I'm the only family, like proper family member left, like. Anyway, she says, Billy, she says, whatever you do, right, don't mention that story again. Keep that to yourself. Yeah, people think you're a nutcase, right? Anyway, so I go to bed on the evening or on the Sunday. I'm starting to become really sick, right? I've got a really, really sore head.
Okay.
Right? Now, I don't suffer from headaches or migraines or anything like that, yeah. But this pain in my head was like it was getting unbearable. So this is like only the first night. Anyway, I get in my car in the morning, and it's dark mornings. It's October. It's dark mornings. I get in my car, and I drive out of New Mills to go the back roads, and then I head like via Glossop, and then from Glossop over Woodhead onto the A1, and then up to Leeds. Anyway, I get as far as Glossop, and the lights on the cars coming the other way, they're blinding me. My head's hurting so much, right? So I turn my car around, right, and I go back home. And do you know what? I had a big project on an island, right? And I was a railway consultant. I was setting a big project of like 100 staff for Irish Rail at the time, with a company called X-Rail.
Okay.
Anyway, so it was very important that I never have days off work or anything like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I turn my car around. I go back and I phone in sick, right? And to cut a long story short, by the Wednesday, like I've not been out of bed, I've not eaten, I've not drunk anything, or like you know, like peeing and pooing and stuff like that. Yeah, all that completely ceased in my body, right? Anyway, I thought it sounds stupid, yeah. I knew Eerie, I knew what my body was doing, yeah, and I knew I was dying, right? So what I did, I phoned an ambulance on the Wednesday. East Midlands ambulance came. And they took me to Steppenhill Hospital, right? And they did all the checks, right? So they did COVID tests. Now, I've got all the paperwork to back this up here, right?
Yeah.
If you ever want to see it, I'll get it sent to you, whatever, right? So they do COVID tests, negative, right? Blood tests, negative for anything, right? CT scans, yeah, negative for anything, right? So I'm in this hospital bed, but now by this time, right, they've put drips and stuff in me, right, to you know, try and help me recover and stuff like that. And the doctors are walking out with clipboards, yeah, and they're like, we don't know what's wrong with you. Like they've examined me for cuts, infections, everything, right? There's nothing, yeah. So I'm thinking, right, so like, we're going to have to send you home. And I said, you can't send me home. I said, if you send me home, I'm going to die, right? And there's a doctors at Steppenhill Hospital, right? And this is Stockport, yeah. And it's like, they start laughing, right? And I'm thinking, like, well, what are you laughing at, yeah? And then as they're trying to throw me out, right, I said, I'll tell you what then, I'll tell you the truth of what happened. And I told them this story, right? And they shook their heads, right? They went outside the room, these two doctors, I could see them outside the doors, yeah? They're conferring. Anyway, they come back in. Goes, tell you what we can do. Can we give you a HIV test? And I'm thinking,
HIV test? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what? So you know what your thoughts of a HIV test are, right? Like it's like for gay people, people who've been up, you know what I mean, right? And it's to see if you've been infected, right? I could be wrong there. Apologies, right? But that's how I interpreted it.
That's
right?
what you thought it was for, yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's what I thought, yeah. So I said, why do you want to run an HIV test? Now, this is in my medical records, right? So they say what it is of a HIV test. We can look at more parameters within your blood. We can go deeper in depth to see if there's something wrong, like what exactly is wrong with you. Anyway, they run a HIV test, comes back negative, right? And they said, "We're going to have to send you home." I said, "If you send me home, I'm going to die." Like, and I was a bit worried, but I was very worried, right? So I had no one to pick me up or anything, right? So I had to walk. Now, Stepney Hospital to Hazel Grove train station isn't far away. It's about a quarter of a mile, right? Now, it took me probably about 45 minutes, an hour to walk that. You had to keep stopping, sit on garden walls and stuff. Anyway, I get to the train station, the train comes, right? And then from New Mills, Newtown Station, where I got off, I had to walk into the centre of New Mills. The whole journey took me about 2.5 hours. Anyway, I called into Boots. I got some Diorolite, yeah, and I thought I need to just get some fluids back in me.
Sure, yeah.
Right, go into my house, go back up to bed, and I was in the attic room. Anyway, below the attic room is you've got the next floor down. It's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, right? And I thought, do you know what? I need to be closer to the bathroom and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm starting to be sick now, but nothing's coming out. So I go from the attic room down to the next floor down. Now my mate, me and my mate Stephen Guest is called her. We shared this property, right? So I went into the we had a spare room and Stephen's room's like the other one. Anyway, I got in there. Now I've not slept, I've not drunk, I've not eaten for like 3 days now. I can't shut my eyes. Like I'm lying in bed just with my eyes open, right? Even though it's darkness, my eyes are open. Anyway, the next couple of days passed like that, right? And we got onto the weekend. Now what I'd had to do, I'd borrowed. No. This time I'm starting to use of my hands and stuff like that. Like I can't use my phone and stuff like that. I'm getting a bit worried, right?
God.
So I borrowed a charger cable from Stephen's room, and I plugged it in my phone to give my phone some charge. And then I'm being sick. I've collapsed. I've got what I think sick and that coming out of my mouth and stuff. Anyway, now. This is like the Sunday now. This is like the following Sunday, right? And Stephen's been out. The other was Sunday morning. Stephen had been out on the Saturday night. He'd come back. Luckily, he was looking for his charger cable. Came into my room, found me collapsed on the floor. Right, I've got blood coming out of my mouth. Yeah, there's blood all around me. Right, I'm basically nearly dead. And he goes, Billy. He's like slapping me. I don't remember this bit, right? But he's like slapping me. He's like, Billy. So he phones the ambulance, right? So East Midlands ambulance come out again. They come into the room, right, and straight away they injected me with adrenaline, right, to sort of wake me up.
All right, yeah.
And I remember them taking my top off, right. I had like a t-shirt on, and it was like soaking in sweat, and it was a horrible smell coming out of me, right. So they take my top off, and then they have a conversation. These 2 paramedics, East Midlands ambulance. And they said, you need to get in the ambulance right now. Yeah. Anyway, they put me in the ambulance, right? But the adrenaline sort of kicked in now, right? And I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, you've got blood poisoning, right? And you're off to ICU, right? Now, from when I was admitted to Stepney Hill, or that following weekend, I was 9 weeks in hospital, right? I was 2.5 weeks in intensive care.
Oh, my God.
I was 2.5 weeks on the ward next door, and then I was on a couple of other wards. I was 9 weeks in hospital after that, Eerie, right? Anyway, I basically lost my job, right? It was sort of a mutual agreement, right, between me and the company, right? I've sort of you can't tell with this phone call, right? But I've lost parts of my speech. I can't pronounce certain words and stuff, and it all stems from that night. And you know, Malcolm was in receipt of this in 2021. This incident, well, 2022, early 2022. They said to me, if my mate hadn't found me in the room in the early hours of the Sunday, I would have been dead by 6 a.m.
Good
so
God.
That's how close I was to dying. They still don't know. I mean, I've told my story, what happened. They don't know, like how that happened to me.
Yeah, I mean who's got the answers to that? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I was out of work for 4 months, Eerie. I had to go back. I'm a qualified machine driver, diggers and that as well. And I ended up going back digger driving because I was sat in a cab. I mean, I couldn't drive my car for weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
So that's like that's the first one.
So this grey then, do you think it was physically in the room with you? Because you said it sort of vanished once you. I think you woke up and it stopped the noise, didn't it? It stopped the chatter.
Yep.
Do you think it?
Yep.
So 2 questions. Do you think it was trying to wake you up with the noise, and do you think it was physically actually there?
Well, what I think is, I don't think I was supposed to wake up. I think whatever it was doing, I think. This is just my opinion. I think it had come for whatever reason, right? And I wasn't supposed to wake up. No, I don't mean be dead in the morning, not wake up.
You weren't supposed to see it, yeah.
I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to wake during whatever was happening to me. I don't think I was supposed to wake up. I think it would have just come and gone, and I wouldn't even have known. But this, like the conversation I had with Malcolm was like there's been loads of incidents, UFO reports, alien reports, all over the world, where people have touched either craft or they've touched aliens, and they've become very, very sick.
Yes, they have.
After it. And it's. I mean, I'm saying I wish I'd never touched it now, but you know, there was no other. I mean, I finished work on the Friday, drove back. I was fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on the weekend that happened. So do you know what? It's all type. I'll send you this. I'll get an address off you. I'll email it you, and I'll send you the document that I sent to Malcolm. All the medical records back it up, and it states like you know I had no infections, no cuts, nothing. Yeah, for anything like that to happen to me.
Yeah, and then they think it's blood poisoning, and then all of a sudden that flips the switch, as it were. It's incredible. What was it that got you in touch with Malcolm then? Did you sort of know of him already?
Me and Malcolm. I don't know if he did. Did Malcolm mention the Loch Ness Monster project here?
Well, I asked him about because he's one of the few people who's been down in a submarine, isn't he? So I sort of skirted that with him. Yeah. He went down with Swatch watches. Yeah, back in our camera. That was it.
But I've got an interest in Loch Ness Monster. I'm Scottish. He didn't used to live too far from me. And we proposed to do a Loch Ness Monster expedition together.
Oh wow!
It was planned to go ahead. Yeah, it was planned to go ahead for 2024. We got the vessel and stuff. We agreed a vessel. What we were going to do, we were going to use bait actually to draw it in.
Okay.
So we'd spoke with vets and stuff and ROV teams and everything, and we were going to run this project for 4 weeks. But the way things are. I'm a bit, I say big game fisherman and pike fisherman when the weather's fair.
Yeah.
But Malcolm suggested a long time ago in one of his articles that if you wanted to catch a Loch Ness Monster, for example, let it come to you. Yeah. And he thought about building a cage and stuff like that. And, you know, as a pike fisherman, I've had pike between 25 and 30 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
You don't go chasing them, right? Big fish, they come to you. You have to put the bait out.
Sure.
And I think that's with any marine species. Yeah, one thing all marine species have to do is eat. Right, a be all and end all. Right,
yeah,
so we'll get some bait areas. We'll put the plan was to get cubes of frozen bait. Right, I don't know, like a square cube, like IBC size.
Yeah,
You've got a ton in a square, meter by meter by meter.
Okay,
Just sink them. Yeah, just drop them on the bottom, sink them, ROVs, bait alarms.
Keep an eye out for him. Yeah, do you know? I would love to do something like that. I'd love to go on a Loch Ness Monster hunt. It was like be a dream come true.
I know.
It really would.
I mean, me and Malcolm thought, do you know what? Well, like we were. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, right? But you know, the Loch Ness is full of eels, Arctic chart eels, the pike and stuff. Yeah. You've got salmon farms on there, and we took some really good vets and stuff like that. Because to do projects like that, you have to go through like proper like SEPA and stuff like that. Scottish Environmental Protection Agency. We had on board.
Of course, yeah.
You know, yeah. It's not as straight when you're using baits and stuff. It's not as straightforward. Everything has to be tested.
Pollution of the water and all that. Sure, yeah,
exactly. So we put a good plan together, and there was fund. We had some of our own funding. There was funding supposed to be come, but these groups like called Highlands and Islands up in Scotland will run Inverness and stuff like that. And if you're going to go with a plan that's sort of foolproof, yeah, where you put a bait in the water, and the plan was the bait goes in, the eels they start coming for the bait. If there is a large aquatic species in there, well, it's going to follow the smaller things. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah, food chain, right? Yeah,
yeah, that's it. And you know, it was foolproof really, but people higher up. I won't go into too much detail, because I probably can't go into too much detail. But all I'll say is, people higher up in governments in Scotland, when you come to do a plan like that, it's foolproof. They don't want it to go ahead, mate, because if you put an end to the Loch Ness Monster,
mystery,
it could be a rogue. Yeah, all the revenue for the for what tourism makes for Loch Ness and stuff like that. Wow. It's a massive. The Scottish Highlands.
Money massive. Talks. Yeah, money talks.
and then you say it's a rogue sturgeon or a big catfish. Well, that's the end of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a fish.
So, yeah, so it never went ahead in the end. We had a boat, we had engineers and everything, ROV operators on board and everything.
God, I would have. Well, if you ever launch it again with Malcolm or anything similar, give me a call.
Oh, of course I would, mate. Of course I would. So yes, that alien grey encounter. That was the first encounter.
Yes. Right? What's your next one then? Yes.
So second one was a UFO encounter. And it happened on Monday the 21st of December, the same year, not long after. It was October was the encounter with the alien grey. So in the December, so my cousin, who lives in Accrington, I currently live in Burnley area, right? But she lives in it's not quite Accrington, it's a place called Huncoat, just outside Accrington.
Okay.
Some of you listeners or viewers will know where this is. So I was dropping off Christmas presents now. I'd always just started driving again because I couldn't drive. After my illness, I couldn't drive or anything. So I only just started driving again. So I got some Christmas presents together and I took them up to Huncoat. So I drove from New Mills. Right? So what I do is I go through Romley into Bredbury. Like some of you think I'll know this route. Then I go around the M60 and then you take like the 66, the M66. It's right at the top of the M60 ring road. It goes under the M62. You follow it out to the A56, and then it goes past like Rottenstall, Haslingden, past Tesco's, and then it goes through Rising Bridge, and then I would come off a couple of junctions after Rising Bridge, right? So it's part of the Ribble Valley, I think it is. I think it's part of the Ribble Valley.
Okay.
So I dropped the presents off, and I was heading back to New Mills, right? It was exactly so. There's a little garage in Huncoat petrol station, right? So I'd gone in there. It was roughly 7:30 at night. I've come out of there and I get onto the A56, so it connects the M65 and the M60, just out on the outskirts of Manchester. So I got in my car and come on the A56. I've come down to Rising Bridge, come around the roundabout, come straight on. There's Tesco's. You've got a Tesco's that just sits up on your right hand side. Come around there. It's at Haslingden Tesco's. Come around there. And then it starts this incline. You're heading up out the valley.
Right. Is that through the bypass up? Is that the bypass direction or lower down?
So we're coming out from Rottenstall now, and we're climbing up the way towards Bury, like Bury Leisure Park.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. So we're well past Haslington and all that. Right. I'm with you.
Yeah. Come up the hill, and. Driving west, it's only 2 lanes, it's like a dual carriageway, 2 lanes on either side. Right? So coming up and then come down the first. Anyway, I'm starting to come up the next dip. Now, there wasn't many cars on the road. At this time of year, there wasn't many cars on the road. I was just driving like an old Golf TDI at the time. So I'm driving along, and this is how it started. Like, so, do you know where your driver's visor is on your car, where you pull it down to like block the sun, right?
Sure.
This light, right? It started off with a little bit of light, which was on my windscreen, right? Now the motor is dark, there's no lights or anything like that. There's no oncoming cars, and there was this bit of light, and I was thinking, like, where's that coming from? And I'm looking, and I put my visor down, and it stopped it, and I lifted my visor back up, but I thought it was a reflection either off my phone or like my car stereo. And anyway, I turned my car stereo off. and I turned my phone on, and this light's still there, and it was getting brighter and brighter. It was like sort of pulsing light, and I'm thinking, what is that? Right, now the weather conditions was very, very damp and overcast, very, very low cloud cover. It wasn't quite raining. It was cold. It wasn't quite foggy, but you're on the borderline of like foggy and dense. You know what I mean? That's
sure, yeah, sort of soupy, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm coming along. Anyway, this light starts to get brighter, and then the flat bit, your car dashboard, that's starting to light up now.
Okay.
Right? I'm thinking, where's this? Like, I'm laughing about it now, Eerie, man. Right, but I'm thinking, like, where's this light coming from? Right, and I'm not joking, mate. Right, I look out my window, out my windscreen. Right, there was this craft in the low clouds. It was only a few hundred feet in the air. Like I can't say exactly how high, but
pretty close, right?
And it's right. So what it looked like, right now. I'm underneath this thing, yeah, right, and it looked like something out of Independence Day. That's all I'll say, right.
Okay.
Now in the centre, it had it was a plasma green ring, like in a dark centre, plasma green ring, but then off the ring it had spokes. And the only way I can describe it, do you remember them old BMX wheels you used to get on your BMXs, your plastic wheels?
Yeah.
Right, it had like 8 rotating spokes.
Oh, right, okay. Underneath it? Is that underneath it?
Yeah, underneath it, yeah.
Right.
So I can't tell you exactly what shape this craft was, right? The craft was that big, I could not see the sides of it, right? And it's in the low cloud cover, right? And it's got these rotating spokes, and rotating roughly, I mean, I'm an engineer, do you know what I mean? Yeah. They were rotating about 30 RPM, right? But they were pulsing. It was like it'd go bright for a second, and then it'd go dim, but not quite out. And then it would go bright again. And that's what the light was coming in my car. They were coming down from above. This thing was, right? This light was. And it's I wouldn't say it was directly above me as if it was concentrated on me, tracking me or anything like that,
okay.
Right? I would just say it was just there, right? Now, it was that wide, and these spokes were that big, right? Now, I'm familiar with aircraft. You'd be a bit of a plane spotter back in the day, like going to Manchester Airport, sit and watch the planes and stuff, yeah. I know how big a 747 is. I know how big the A380 is, yeah. I know my planes, 767s, 737s, whatever, SR-71A Blackbird, whatever, right? I know my planes, yeah. Now, this thing, right, was bigger than any aircraft. It would dwarf our biggest aircraft easily, right? And it started to slow down. Now, I've slowed down to about 40, 45 mile an hour, but I'm still travelling, you know what I mean? So I'm starting to get near Ferry Leisure Park now, right? So it's a bit of an incline up. And I'm looking, and I'd gone beyond it. So by this time, it's like, is it probably stationary and whatever it's done, it's stopped, and I've continued going anyway. The road then opens up into 4 lanes, right? So you've got 2 lanes on the left-hand side. They go into the M62. Right, and then the 2 lanes what I was on carried on under the 62, and they join onto the M60 ring road, right?
Yeah,
the
sure.
Like northeast. And as I've come around there, I've slowed down a bit. I've come under the bridge, and I'm thinking, like, there was no missing time or anything like that. Yeah, we're roughly about 8 o'clock now or something, roughly. And then this thing, it flew over in the clouds right towards the city centre. About the speed of a low-flying aircraft. And I got a look at it as it went over. Yeah, this thing was massive, right? But it was still in the low cloud cover. And I thought, do you know what? Well, like, I'm telling you, right? This thing would have been invisible, right? If that cloud cover had not have been like how it was, like I could sort of make out a sort of a shape as it flew over. But when I was underneath it, like 100% it would have been invisible, mate. Whatever the power source off was it, and the cloud cover and the denseness of the clouds, right, give its location away. I reckon they are about, yeah, and they're invisible, mate.
You think it's like cloaked or something, or a force field, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Goodness me.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah.
Gosh, that's 2 incredible experiences, isn't it? In a very short time.
Yeah, it is, mate.
It is.
And you know, people I've told this story in pubs and stuff. I'm like, oh, did you get your phone out? Did you take a picture? Let me tell you. Right?
Well, who's got time to do that? Yeah.
No, you know what? See when you see something, as incredible as that, right?
Yeah.
You do not take your eyes off it. Like there's been plenty of people seen UFOs and they've never got pictures, right? Now my fear was if I take my eyes off this for a second, right, I'm never going to see it again.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
That happens with just normal stuff. So I was in Nottingham recently, and on the way to where I was going, we pulled up at these traffic lights, and there's some sort of dinosaur park or something, and there's like a T-Rex stood there.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, wife was driving. I thought I'll just take a photo of that. You take your phone out, unlock it, wait for it to respond.
Yeah.
Press camera, wait for that, and then you've driven off.
You're going past it, aren't you?
Yeah, so I understand 100%, you know. Yeah. You can't take the photos. Well, it's been a pleasure to speak to you. I'm sorry, Billy, was it? Billy, wasn't it?
Yeah, my name is Billy Brown, yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call, Billy. That's amazing. If you plumb the depths of Loch Ness with Malcolm again, make sure I'm involved because I can swim.
Yeah, of course I would, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely, mate. No problem.
All right.
Well, what I'll do for you as well, your email address is on the screen, innit?
It is, yes.
What I'll do, mate, both them encounters, they're both typed up, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll get them sent over to you, mate. You can pop in your records or something, all right?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Billy, and take care, mate. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
See you, pal.
Cheers,
Thank
Eerie.
you.
Thanks, bye. Bye.
Incredible stories from incredible people, ladies and gents. That's what we're all about. It's just about 10 past the hour. Time for a small break. YouTube show is only a part of the vault. Beyond the broadcast is the archive. And at eeriesvault.com you'll find our growing library of case files, first-hand accounts of the unexplained, written reports from people who lived through something strange. And we need yours. If you've carried a story for years, if you've never had the chance to put it into words, and this is where it belongs, your report will stand alongside others, building a record that may one day help us see patterns that we cannot see alone. And it's easy. Go to eeriesvault.com, open the Case Files page, and hit the Submit a Case button. Fill in the details and send it on its way. Because strange events pass quickly into silence unless someone records them. Don't let your story vanish. Put it in the vault. From the depths of the vault, this is Eerie's Vault Live. Every Friday at 9 p.m. GMT, the lines are open. UFOs, aliens, ghosts, strange creatures, time slips, encounters you cannot explain. If you've seen something unusual, if something has haunted you, followed you, or simply left you wondering, then this is your place to tell it. Call in and share your story. You can watch the show live on YouTube or stream it directly at eeriesvault.com. And if you're too shy to call, then you can email ahead of the show at eeriesvault@gmail.com, and I will read your story out for you on air. That's Eerie's Vault Live, Friday nights, 9 p.m. GMT. Be part of it. To take part in tonight's show, there are a number of options. You can send a message on WhatsApp, giving a brief outline of what it is you want to discuss, and then wait for my call back. Alternatively, for UK residents, you can call direct on 0141 673 3743 to join the call queue and get through to the live show. And for listeners in the US, you can also call on 929 673 3743. That's 929 Mr. Eerie. That's a New York City number. And if you're too shy to call, then you can always email eeriesvault@gmail.com with your story or your theory, whatever it is you want to talk about, and I can read it out for you on air and state. Remember, this is your show, and I am waiting for your call. Strange encounters, theories about the paranormal, questions about some of the cases I've covered on the channel, whatever it is, as long as it's weird, I want to hear it. Call now to be on Eerie's Vault Live. This is Eerie's Vault Live, and I am your host, Leon Eerie, and this is your number one stream for the weird, the strange, and the unexplained. Certainly is. It's the number one stream, the unexplained. That's right. I've just made the text a little bit bigger, actually, on this screen. I don't know if you've noticed. I never gave any consideration to how people might be watching this. If it's on I watch YouTube on my television all the time, but I realise some people watch it on, mobile phones, etc., with smaller screens. So, there we go. I've made the text a little bigger for you. Now, this email that I had begun to write, which is from begun to read. You can't hear that, but there's a call coming in. John, I will get your email, I promise. I promise I will. There it is. Good evening, you're on Eerie's Vault Live. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Eerie. How are you today?
Hello, Fleur. I am exhausted, Fleur, if I'm honest with you, but I'm having fun tonight.
Yeah, like we all should do. It's Friday, everybody. We've got Eerie. Enjoy. This time, Eerie, it is a little bit unusual that I'm going to ask, but have you ever heard of the Francis Bacon's haunted chicken?
Now, yes, I have, but I won't spoil it. I'm going to let you tell everybody about it.
Okay, so Sir Francis Bacon was a scientist of sorts. Bear in mind that this was about the Tudor period, and he decided that he wanted to see if food could be preserved in a certain way. So, being, an Edwardian, what am I saying? Being a Tudor, let's get this right, he was a Tudor.
You could say anything. I wouldn't know. I don't do history, so you could have said anything there and I would have believed you.
Being a Tudor, he decided that he would take a chicken, buy a chicken from a farm and freeze the chicken in the snow. And to his surprise, it preserved the meat. But sadly, he passed away through exposure to all the ice.
Of course.
Now, what's interesting is...
It was a chili chicken, in fact. Sorry, I couldn't resist that.
Chili chicken. I actually like chili chicken. So, does his ghost roam around? Maybe. But what else roams around? The ghost of the stuffed chicken. I remembered that one for a while ago, and I'm like, I wonder if everybody remembers Sir Francis Bacon and his stuffed chicken.
Yes, it's the Phantom Chicken of Pond Square, I think it's called, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, Pond Square.
God, I love that story.
Because that's the one I remember, but I don't know if you've ever done a video on Grimm's.
Grimm's? No, I mean, the closest I came would have been the Black Hounds. I did all the bear guest stuff and all that.
Because we used to have, where I live, there is a story that if you go down a certain lane, you will see what we call them shook dogs.
Yes.
Shook dogs or Grims. We call them Grims. And there is a story that my friend told me about when she was walking some of her dogs. So she'd been out. She's not really doing anything. She's looking at her phone. Her dogs are walking around. And she swore that she saw a giant black dog with red eyes. And obviously she gets home. Her husband's like, no, you've been working too hard, etc.
You're saying
things.
Kept saying,
Yep. And it wasn't until I was like, well, you do realise that we do live in a town that's known for Grims.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the strange, paranormal.
And a Grim.
And obviously
a Grim. Sorry, Flair. For people who might not know what a Grim is, then do you want to just throw out there what that is? Because it's a church Grim, isn't it, specifically?
Yeah. A church Grim, or what we call them shook dogs or shucks, are basically black dogs that are known to carry misfortune or death. And I asked her, did you have any misfortune? She's like, no. I found £5 though. She's like, oh no, I found £5. Don't know who the dog belonged to or whether it was a Grim. But it apparently belonged to, she said, I didn't know. She said, I just turned around and went the other way with the dogs and pulled the dogs along.
Well, there you go. And found a $5, deep sea diver.
Yeah, found a $5 and got scared by a dog.
Wonderful.
But we, like I said, where I live, there's a lot of different tales. And obviously you get these stories passed down like the Grim, Grim, shook dog, we call them shook dogs for reference where I live, as shook dogs. There's also, when my niece she went to Sheffield Hallam University, she's not there now obviously. They had to do a story about, because this is, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but she had to do a story, because she did art, you had to illustrate a legend.
Okay.
So she said, well, she said, I could do a few different ones, but have you ever heard of the Boggart of Boggart Lane? And we're just like, Boggart of Boggart Lane? It's apparently a boggart, which is a mythical creature, lives down a lane in Sheffield. So I said, well, why don't you draw what your interpretation of the mythical beast that is the boggart.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what she did for the coursework.
Gosh.
The boggart of Boggart Lane.
That'd be different, wouldn't it?
Well, put it this way, I've never been to Boggart Lane, and I've yet to see a boggart. Because I've tried to think of all the mythical animals that, again, lots of different ones. Same as such as Nessie. Have you ever heard of the Ogopogo?
I have. That's Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, Canada.
Lake monster.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Lake Okanagan, I think.
Yeah. I've seen images of that. Again, I think it would be a little bit just like Nessie. A bit like Nessie, I suppose. If you, I don't know, have you seen the images of it, Eerie, but supposedly the
I've seen the one where it's like lots of black rings or humps on the surface. There's about 6 black humps, and it looks like there's a head and a tail. I've seen that one. Which one is it that's now then? Because there's Ogopogo and there's Champ, and I might be thinking of Champ.
There is actually footage of the Ogopogo. I think if you really look for it, you will find it.
Oh, right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yep, you'll find the image of the what was humps of the Ogopogo.
Mm.
But also, speaking of, because I'm trying to think of different things, to keep on topic.
Yes, of course.
Have you ever heard the tale of Jenny Green Tea?
I certainly have. A water hag who is rather like Jenny Longarms or Peg Powler, and will essentially pull you into the water if you get too close, right?
Yeah. That was a story that my grandmother used to tell me
Really?
when I was younger. Yep.
Now, I've heard of it.
Tell us,
Sorry, go on.
she would always tell us, do not go near ponds, lakes, or near boats, because Jenny Green Teeth will grab you and pull you in.
Well.
That's the story that my grandmother used to tell us. She was like I said, she was a very superstitious woman. Very superstitious.
I think that, you see, I know of these things. So obviously, Jenny Green Teeth, Peg Powler, Black Annis, in fact, I am researching a video about sort of hags, if you like, which I hope will be a long one. But I know of these things now, but I was never given any. The worst I was told when I was a kid is if you swallow chewing gum, it wraps around your ribs and you can't breathe anymore. That's what I got told as a kid.
Yep.
That was my spook story. Or if you eat an apple and you swallow the seed, a tree grows out of your head. But I was never told any creaturey sort of stay away or else XYZ will get you.
Yeah. There's a lot. I don't know whether it's because around here we're a little, maybe just a tiny bit superstitious, but we were also told on Halloween, this one's a little bit specific to Halloween.
Okay.
When you're walking around, you're dressed up as ghosts and goblins. If you see the moon shine on you, that means you need to turn back and go home because something will come and get you. Really?
Now that's a strange one. I've never heard that before.
I didn't until I think it was my school that told us this story. If the light shines, if the sun, when the moon shines on you while you're trick-or-treating, always turn back and go home because something will come after you if you don't. I think it's one of those that it's just made to protect you. Don't go too far.
Yeah.
When it's dark, don't go.
Oh, I
around
see.
There.
Yeah, so like if the moonlight is shining on you, there are no street lamps probably because you'd notice the moonlight maybe, and then you've gone too far.
Yeah, it's things like that. Like I said, at the moment, I'm trying to keep up with some of the things that people have mentioned throughout the chat and etc. I'm thinking all these ones.
It moves fast, doesn't it? Buster wants to know what a boggart is.
A boggart is a mythical creature. If you've ever seen Harry Potter, you'll know what a boggart is. it's a shapeshifter. So in Neville Longbottom's boggart was Professor Snape.
Ah, yes.
So Professor Snape, etc. But again, I've never actually been down there because, again, I don't live in that area, so not entirely sure.
I think that the boggart is said to be the result of... So there's benevolent spirits, let's say, often referred to as brownies, sometimes as red caps, I think, which in the north particularly, and I'm talking maybe, the sort of Teesside sort of area particularly, these, what did I call them? Benevolent things. They would help you with the washing up, and, like the shoemaker's elves sort of story. They'd help with the washing up. They'd do little chores or whatever. They'd find little coins and bring them to you. Unless you upset them, in which case they took umbrage with you and then became boggarts, which are then these shape-shifting, conniving little creatures that would then cause havoc in your house.
It's interesting what you can actually find, but I actually do have something, Eerie, that I think your viewers like, and I think you will like, 'cause this has happened.
Okay.
It happened about 2 years ago, because while we're speaking about spirits and such, about 2 years ago, I was on my own at home, and I don't know what I was doing, but I think I was talking to the dog. And I was calling to him, and I was going, Teddy, because that's my pet dog. He's sadly deceased. And I'm calling him going, Teddy, what are you doing? And the minute that I did that, there was somebody repeating it back to me.
Oh, dear. Okay. It wasn't Teddy, was it?
No. I wish. It was as though somebody was mimicking me.
Oh, gosh. No, that's creepy already.
It was as though someone was mimicking me. So, I just stopped. And I thought, well, it's not any echo that I could think of. So I went into another room, and I forgot the word that I said. I said something like stupid. It was just like cake. And what came back to was the word cake. It was as though it was an echo. So I just like, let's see. So I started repeating words, and it would repeat back. And then suddenly it stopped. And I didn't know what that was until, I believe, in your chat, somebody mentioned a mimic.
Yes, they did.
And I've just so I was thinking about telling, like, I wonder if it was a mimic that was in the house.
Gosh, a mimic. And why has it always got to be in your house? The most personal space. That's what makes things extra creepy, I think.
You see, well, obviously people will know now, but I actually do live with two spirits in my own house. I don't see them, but other people have mentioned seeing them. So we've gone from one thing to another, but I may as well let you all know that I actually do live with two spirits. I don't see them, but my sister and my neighbour and a handful of people have mentioned them. Will say, oh, I've seen them. And I don't see them. I genuinely don't. Never seen them. Never even felt anything.
Really? That's odd, isn't it? I wonder why you don't see them. I wonder if that's a choice on their behalf or shielding on yours.
It's possibly. I don't know, but one is a lady. My sister described her as in her mid-50s, and she's very particular. So I have in my living room a it's just a little trinket the shape of a rabbit.
Hmm.
And I just put it on top of the television, didn't think much of it. And my dog, well, before I adopted my mum's dog, he would come up and he would constantly be around this rabbit, jumping up at it, barking at it. And I just said, will you give over, Ted? Just get over because you're going to knock it down. And my sister turned around and said, well, it's because she likes that one.
Oh.
She likes that one. Oh, my sister said, she likes that rabbit. Don't move it because she likes it.
And then you must have said, and who is she?
Yep, I actually said, who's she? Said, well, my sister just sat back. She said, oh, she's listening to our conversation right now. She's listening to us.
Good Lord.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, chill goes down my spine. I'm just going, chill goes down my spine. I'm listening, just waiting to see if anything happened, nothing. But my sister said, she's listening for all she's worth. She knows that he knows about the rabbit.
He? And who is he?
There's a man as well. The man is a little bit more gentle. He's gentle, and they both are connected in some way.
I
don't know how they're connected, why they're here, but they do not come. They come into the living room, the kitchen. They will come into the bathroom, but they don't come into the bedroom, and they don't come into the toilet for whatever reason. They don't come in.
Okay.
So I asked my sister, what do I do with all this? She said, well, they're not harming you. Just let them roam, let them do what they want. So I just let them do what they want. Obviously, I don't see them. I don't hear them. I don't really mind because they're not doing anything to me.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't impact you, does it, I suppose?
No. Because this is actually a story that I've wanted to tell for quite a long time, but I thought, well, may as well.
Well, why not? It's the place to do it.
Yeah, it's living with them is like, again, you don't know they're there, so you're not really bothered. But obviously, I actually had an interesting experience once. I had a cabinet in the hallway that I used to put books and, bits of paper on, bills and such.
Yes.
And that broke, and I put everything into a cupboard. Now, bear in mind, my hallway has two cupboards. One, which she goes into, because she likes it being in there. I don't know why.
Okay.
And he goes to the other one. And I asked my sister, what's the significance of them going in there? It's because she likes it to be of her own accord. She likes her own space, whereas he's more than happy to be around. He's not bothered. He's not bothered by everyone.
Oh, I see.
He's happy. And going back to the bookcase, I put everything in the book, from the bookcase into the middle cupboard. And my sister hadn't been up for several months, and she just happened to say, I'm going to come up, put the kettle on. And she came in and she said, he's not very happy about what you did. I said, what do you mean he's not very happy about what I did?
Somebody's upset the gentle one, goodness me.
Yeah, she said, he's upset because you put all those things in the cupboard. Bear in mind, I'd not told her there was things in the cupboard. She just said, yes, he's not happy because you put all the things in that cupboard.
And you put them in her cupboard or his?
His.
Ah, his. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it was, sorry if it's a bit difficult to understand because...
I'm getting older, Fleur, that's all it is. It's not you, it's me, honestly. I'm getting older and my brain's more tired. I'm keeping up with you.
Yeah, it's difficult. As I said, it's difficult to keep up sometimes.
Yes.
Like I said, I was like, well, what do I do? She said, well, you can't do anything now because he's gone back to normal. He's not bothered. But just don't do it to her cupboard because she'll tell you how she knows things. She'll tell you in certain ways.
Okay.
So there's been times when I found things broken when I know that they weren't broken previously.
Oh, right. And you think this is like some sort of petty payback?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's just how it is, and like I said, I've lived with them for years now. That I don't see them, and I just let them roam around. Now one of the other ones is my neighbour who lives across from me also. Why do these people always be around me when they see things and go, oh yeah, this is here? Well, my neighbour said to me, because obviously with me having a dog and him having a dog, we used to, talk as our dogs did their business. And he said, who was that woman in the hallway? And I'm looking back going, what are you talking about?
What woman? Yeah.
What woman in the hall? Because obviously, he said, there's a woman in your hallway because I can see her in the hallway. And I just said, what do you mean? What, woman hallway? He said, there's a woman in the hallway near the door. And he didn't say anything else. He said, there's a woman in the hallway and she's near the door. So I turned around. I couldn't see anything. And he said, she's there right now. She's there right now with me.
And you couldn't see anything there?
Nope, nothing.
Isn't it odd?
Absolutely nothing. And I'm like, well, I said, well, you've probably seen her. I said, I can't see her. It's just whatever at this point. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. And he also told me something else, which I was confused about. He said, oh, by the way, what about those Edwardian children?
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, like, well, what do you mean? Again, I'm going, this is news to me. He said, well, when I look through your window, I can see 2 children in neck ruffs.
In what? Say that again.
Neck ruffs.
What's that?
Have you ever seen a picture of Queen Elizabeth I? She has like a ruff around her neck.
Oh, okay, yes.
She said, well, he said, I keep seeing through your window. Oh,
I'm sorry. Neck ruff. Sorry, right, I understand now. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. He said, I can see 2 neck ruffs. 2 girls, a boy. He said, it's children, can't define gender. But there's a boy and a girl in neck ruffs. And they will walk around and they keep playing with balls. These balls. So I'm thinking, what balls? And I went back in and I'm like, again, I don't see them. I don't know. And I went to bed, closed my eyes, and I'm thinking, what balls is he talking about? What balls would they have? And the next day he said, I saw them 2 nights ago, and he said they weren't playing with them anymore. And then I realised those balls were my dogs.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. I just felt that. Oh, wow. Yes, okay.
And the reason that they didn't have them is because I put the balls away because he used to knock them under the settee. So I'd forever be putting them away. And at this point, I got fed up and I'd put them away.
Oh.
And he said, yeah, those balls are just, those balls are gone. They're not playing with them anymore.
Well.
So, and again, I'm not close enough to my neighbour to say, oh, the dog was messing around. I'm putting his balls away because it's, I'm tripping over them myself.
Don't you hate it when you trip over your dog's balls? It's terrible.
Yeah. But it's just like I said, because I live with them and I don't see them, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't it odd? All this whole circus going on around you, and you just you just don't know it's there, and you're sort of learning about it through other people. It's very odd.
Yeah, I'm not privy to it, but my sister, when she comes, she can see everything. She can see everything. It's like another day that she had come up, because every time she does, she tells me what's going on. She'll just point them out randomly. I'm like, oh God, I can't see him, so whatever. And she'd come over, I think it was for Christmas, and I only have a 1-bedroom flat. So she was sleeping next to me. And she just, as we were told, she just turned around and said, somebody's just come in the room. I'm like, what do you mean? Again, I'm like, I always say to her, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you're not at the point of saying to her, just stop telling me.
I actually have that told her. I'm like, don't tell me.
Just stop telling me.
And she said, I'm not lying. Somebody has just walked through the wall, through your bedroom, and through outside.
Oh, gosh.
So, I'm there going, just don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Yeah, I don't need to know. Yeah.
So she doesn't tell me. She doesn't say anything about it. But she always says when she comes back, she said, it's that busy. She said, it's like, she didn't say traffic, but almost like she said, it's very busy in your house.
Yeah, it seems like it is, Fleur, to be honest. And I'm quite sure you'll be a fountain of stories, actually. So this is a strange one, chat, isn't it? Because it's an experience that is almost not being experienced by the experiencer.
I don't see it. I don't see them. The nearest thing that I thought was something was during the night times. I would get my dog obviously had a problem with his weed and such, and I would get up every night to take him out, and I close the door, turn the light off, and I would sometimes look down the corridor and see what I thought was the outline of this lady. So I would snap the light on and it wouldn't be there. So I'm like, well, is that her in the dark? And when I snap the light on, she's gone. But maybe that's the only thing I see of her, but she's...
Maybe, but who knows? Who knows if that might change one day, Fleur? It's a new one on me, I have to say. You've given me a food for thought there. People could be surrounded by these things, and they might never know. That's a very odd one.
And to be honest, I don't really talk to them. I don't. Sometimes you do get like a sense that if, say, for example, if I buy an ornament that she doesn't like, there's like a sense of, don't like that.
I understand.
I'll buy things, and sometimes it feels like, oh, I don't, maybe that shouldn't be there, that shouldn't be there. And when I get rid of it, that sense goes.
Yes.
Whether
sort
she's
of
actually
influencing you.
I
understand.
But it never bothers me. It doesn't bother me.
That's good. It doesn't bother you, Fleur. But that's a particularly interesting call, actually. Thank you very much indeed.
If, like I said, if anybody wants to ask me questions about them, because
go for it.
I don't see them. I don't see them. Only my sister's seen them, my neighbour's seen them, and sometimes other people will say, something's there. I don't see them.
There you go.
I'm not in tune with them.
Yeah.
I'm not in tune with them.
If we've got any questions about that strange setup, let's have them in the chat. Fleur, again, thank you ever so much for your call.
I'm glad that I could talk about it, because I've been wanting to do for a bit, but I'm like, when is the right time to explain?
And I could tell some of it was difficult, but there's always next week as well. So yes.
A question from Tools: how old is your house? Well, I believe it was put down in the 1950s. 1950s, I believe most of them are like just after the Second World War. I know where I lived used to be a lot of fields, and if I'm right, there used to be an RAF station, not an RAF station, but like a lookout base there with the AT guns. But as far as that's concerned, I don't really know much else about the area as such. Not really much else, I'm afraid.
Okay, there you go, Tools. That's the answer to that one. Fleur, if you can take the answers in the chat then. I've got a couple of callers in queue, so I'm going to jump over to... thank you very much for your call.
And,
all right.
And everybody, please keep ringing in. Please keep ringing in.
Yeah, we've got a couple waiting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
You know, Fleur's just reminded me there, by saying mimic, the mimic part. Are you guys aware of the Zoobies? I think it was a Dr. Badua, and it's a Bigfoot story, or supposed Bigfoot story, where I believe it was a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something, moved to a property in the middle of nowhere, and San Diego, I think, and experienced Bigfoot activity, including mimicry of his, well, not mimicry of the voice, but repetition of the words. So his wife used to go and feed the chickens, and she'd say, "Here, chicky, chicky, here, chicky, chicky," like that. And she'd call the chickens in. And this one night, Dr. Badua had a disturbance in the house, in the garden. He's out there with a flashlight, and then he hears this voice go, "Here, chicky, chicky, here, chicky, chicky," like that. And the Bigfoot was mimicking the wife's words. You just reminded me of that. I've been dying to say that for ages. And Blazer, I noticed, had an incredible superstition. It's gone now. I think it was your Italian mother. Yes, every night she puts a large bristled broom behind the back door, so any witches trying to get in have to count the bristles first, and by the time she's counted them all, it's daytime. That's wonderful. I've never heard that before, but that has reminded me of something else. So I earlier said I never got told so-and-so will get you, right? But you've just triggered a memory there, Blazer, because I was told that if you had a boiled egg, and I hope somebody else heard this in their lifetime, if you have a boiled egg, you must turn it, when you've finished eating it, you must turn it upside down and you must smash the bottom of the egg in, because if you don't, a witch can use it as a boat to, I don't know, nowadays I assume sail from the landfill where the eggshell ends up and will get you. Yes, that's what I was told. Incredible. I'm heading over to WhatsApp here. I have a very patient person who has a story about a childhood house. Hopefully you're still around. Let me switch to this screen here and let's give you a call. Yes, you must smash the egg in or the witch will get you. Hello there, you're on Eeries Vault Live. Welcome.
Oh, amazing. Are we live now?
We certainly are.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm just pausing my TV.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much, first of all, for taking my call.
Not at all.
I'm a massive fan of your channel.
That's good. That's good to know.
I was always, when I was a lot younger, I used to watch the Sci-Fi Channel on Sky, and there was the show Sightings and things like that, and your channel has sort of like rekindled my interest in in this kind of thing.
Good.
The story I got to tell today is kind of weird for me, speaking about it, because it's something I haven't really spoken a lot about. So I might be doing a little kind of, certain things might come back to memory,
sure.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, not a problem.
As I'm talking, it's kind of weird, but as is the nature of this kind of show,
that's
so I feel kind of comfortable sharing it. I don't know if this is supernatural or not. Really, I guess it is. The more I think about it, the more it is sort of supernatural. When it was around about. It was in the 80s when I'm 42 now, So I'm thinking back to the 1980s. I always called it the old house because
Okay,
it was
right.
a street which was built on an old. I think it was some sort of fabric factory originally, but then they built up walls between it all and turned it into a terrace of houses,
Mm.
three-story houses. And as a child, I used to always have these strange. It's really strange for me to talk about this because it almost feels like I'm like a therapy session. I don't mean to sort of like sort trauma dump is the modern parlance. So
Yeah.
I'm not trauma dumping. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it. But you always have these strange nightmares of how can I describe this? This will lead into the supernatural element of it as well, because you might think, what's this guy
Sure.
doing
Yeah.
making a call
Yeah, yeah.
about
Well,
his nightmares?
start
It's not
with
a. It's
the
we're not
beginning,
a
and yeah.
we're not a Jungian podcast here, like deciphering dreams sort of thing. But it does sort of
It
lead into
links.
the weird. The link is the weirdness of the property, and this is the one thing that used to always really be quite vivid in my memory, whereas the supernatural element is not very vivid in my
Okay,
memory,
right.
if you know what I mean.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So the vivid aspect of it was that I'd have these recurring nightmares. So they weren't something which you had once and it was terrifying, so it kind of sticks in your memory. I remember it being almost nightly for a long time. And I can't tell you how long that time was, but it
Mm,
felt long enough to be like, well, wow, this sticks out in my memory even
sure.
now. And it was of this is going to be the strange element of it. And this is what I love about your channel, by the way, that you do deal with the high strange
Yes.
rather than the here's a the kind of tic tac UFO
Yeah, we have a
kind of
mixture
incident.
of stuff, don't we? Yeah,
You
yeah.
do, you do, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody that's intrigued by that at all. But what I do respect about your show is the high strange element. So basically, I have this dream of a let's call it a truck, for a lack of a better word. So imagine like a lorry,
All right.
but without the lorry pulling it.
Okay, the
So
cab
just
part. Oh, just
the
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 actual
carriage,
truck. Right, with you. Yeah.
yeah, and it'd have almost like this Indian side to it, which was like a curtain. That's the weirdest part of my memory. It was like
Mm.
a weird carriage with an Indian curtain on the side, and at the front there was a face. And this is where I think, well, this may be because of my childhood. I remember things like Thomas the Tank Engine series. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's like Thomas, but it was also like this square, almost Thomas the Tank looking face, but it was neon, non neon. That's that's me just using words, but it was a green face on the front, and
Okay.
it was an angry looking face.
Mm.
And in the nightmare, this truck would pull up, and it would breathe fire on people.
Good God.
Uh, so yeah, I can't imagine as a kid, because my both of my parents are quite loving parents. They protect me from anything that was beyond the sort of 9 o'clock watershed.
Mm.
I can't imagine ever seeing anything which would feed into that kind of imagery. But there's this truck with the green face, sort of like breathing fire onto people, and I would wake up as a child, sort of in great distress, really, over having seen this in my nightmares, to,
I'm
to
not
the point that I
surprised.
remember my folks coming up and comforting me, my grandfather coming up and comforting me. So and even that memory suggests to me that this was going on for some time.
Yeah.
Very, very, very strange. But I always remember the final um, part of this series of nightmares was where I would reconcile with this terrible being, for a lack of a better word.
Right.
And I always remember, and this is where the supernatural stuff started to kick off. So I am going to get to the supernatural point. I would reconcile as a child, and this is in the 80s, so I must have been, I'm thinking when we moved, I must have been no older than 5 years old.
Yeah,
So
sure.
this is an old memory for a 40-odd-year-old. I remember reconciling with this creature, and it let me grab the front of his face and sort of roll it like a poster
Okay.
off of the truck, roll it off the truck. And the last dream I ever remember of this creature was rolling the face off and putting it in a drawer and shutting the drawer.
It's very symbolic, of course, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what I mean when to refer back to earlier. I didn't mean to turn it into a sort of like Carl Jung type archetypes and stuff like. And I've thought about things like that. I've thought about rationally, is this because of a trouble that I had, and
Yes, yeah, a
so on and so
trauma or
forth.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and anything like that, which I don't believe that I have experienced, thankfully. But it was at that point when I sort of like locked that drawer, and it was almost like I've made friends with this thing that was scaring me. It was after that that I was sat in my living room as a child, and I don't know what drew me to look at it, but the living room had a door which opened into a hallway, and the hallway had a very steep set of stairs. It was quite an old house. Like I said, it used to be an old sort of factory
Mm.
that was turned into houses, so that the standard of, you know, the I don't know if it's the word, the camber of stairs. These stairs were very, very steep.
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. Much more
And I remember
space-saving designs, wasn't it? Yeah.
exactly. So it wasn't. They weren't designed for comfort. They were designed for sort of like productivity, if you like.
Mm.
So I always remember stepping outside the door between the living room and the hallway. Something. It wasn't a sound. It was a sensation that said, "Come and have a look at this." And I'm very young at the time,
Yeah.
and I always remember looking at them stairs and seeing, like, that kind of stereotypical ghost figure.
Mm.
It was a grey circle with, all I can describe it as is a sort of energy flowing around it, almost like that. You often see in garden ornaments, like a face with sort of sunbeams flying around
Yes.
it.
Oh, I
But
see.
it, wa-
Yeah,
but it,
yeah.
but it was rock grey,
Mm.
and um, a, a quite friendly, sort of wise face looking down the stairs. And I'm almost like pausing as I'm speaking, because one part of my head is saying, "What? Why are you sharing this experience?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But lots of people have had similar experiences. I don't sort of feel that bad, but it still feels quite strange to share that experience.
Yeah.
And I was remember seeing that, and there was nothing threatening about it at all. It just sort of hovered there. And in my memory, I'm almost like, I wish I could remember what it said. I remember the lips moving on this figure, but I have no idea what it said. And perhaps I can't really tell you the amount of time between that experience and the next experience, but it was around that same sort of time period. I
Mm.
always remember whenever I'd go to sleep, I'd see sort of more apparitions, if you like,
Right.
sort of floating around, but never ever as vivid as that one. That one absolutely sticks out in my memory. But all of the apparitions I saw in that house were never ever threatening. They were almost sort of comforting in a way. But interestingly, after moving away from that house in around about 1991, I have never experienced anything paranormal since. So you're talking that point onwards, 30 years later, I've never experienced anything paranormal. I've never felt any fear of exploring my interest in the paranormal at all. I feel almost like some people who are into this kind of thing, they say, "Oh, you've got the spirit of protection over you," and that kind of thing. I'm agnostic when it comes to it all, completely. I'm an intelligent person. I've got a first class degree in psychology. Um, I'm not the type of person to sort of. I'm not belittling anybody who is like this, but
Yep, but
it's not
you
my
don't
core.
go there
It's not my
first.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my core interest at all. But that's the interesting factor to me, that I had these strange experiences, but they were only ever in that house. So it seems to me that it was a localized haunting, for lack of a better
Yes.
word.
Yeah.
And as a child, I seemed to be very susceptible to seeing it and experiencing it, and it wasn't threatening at all, except for the nightmare that preceded it.
Isn't it strange? Was the face on the grey thing, did it have any similarity to the face on what you interestingly call the creature on the truck?
No, the creature on the truck, dream or nightmare, was threatening. It was it was a very scary experience to have those nightmares. It was
Oh,
not something
yes.
you'd look forward to seeing, but it kept coming back, kept coming back. But even at such a young age, my instinct was to talk to it. I can't remember what the discussion was, but I remember talking to it and it calming down, and to the point where I was able to, like I said,
Roll its face
this is
into.
very strange,
Yeah.
but to like roll it off like a poster
And was there
and put
anything?
it away.
Was there anything underneath it?
No, it was. That's an interesting question, actually, because it got me thinking about something I haven't thought about. What was underneath it was the blank wall that it was attached to, for lack of a better term. So the best description I can say is like a lorry that's pulling a load. It's like the load without the lorry on, and he was rolling that off and putting it away
In a drawer,
uh,
which is then that's. I mean, you know, when as somebody with a degree in psychology, the significance of that cannot be lost on you.
It is, but almost to the point that, which, because of your question, it just reminded me of another episode where I would open the drawer
Right.
and
Okay.
pull. This sounds almost like I'm making it up for entertainment purposes. I'm genuinely not. I remember in another dream, a subsequent dream, opening the drawer, pulling it out, and I'm face to face. This is again psychological Jungian type
Yeah.
stuff. I'm face to face with a mirror.
Okay. Right.
Pull pull the pull the scroll that I'd rolled the face up in, and unravel it onto the mirror in front of me. And it again, I can remember it speaking to me, but in this time, there's nothing terrifying about it. It's very, very sort of like reconciliatory
Mm. Oh,
conversation, and then rolling it back up and put it in the. That's the final dream. That's the final dream. Putting it on the mirror, rolling it out, rolling it back, putting it into the drawer, closing the drawer. That's the final. That's the
Gosh,
final.
it's almost
Yeah.
like it's saying a final farewell to a part of your much younger self in a way.
Mm.
Isn't it strange?
I would say from a psychology point of view, X, Y, and Z that could be very, very interesting, but it genuinely doesn't feel like a psychology. It does. Anybody listening to this who's got a background in psychology or therapy could come up with a million theories for that,
Oh yes, it's the
like
first
what's
thing.
going on.
It's the first thing you
And even
think, isn't
saying,
it? Yeah.
even saying out loud, it's the first thing that I think, and
Mm.
I'm the one that experienced, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like this very strange, real experience where I'd had an encounter with something, and that was terrifying, and
Mm.
I'd managed to reconcile it and put it away, which again sounds very psychological.
It does.
But it was after that. This is the interesting thing to to your to to your realm of interest.
Mm.
It was after that that the very much paranormal experiences began.
Yeah.
And what's always interested me as something which I could try and rationalize and think back on, it's the fact that when we moved from that house, I've never experienced anything paranormal
Yeah.
since.
Yeah. So it's
So
something
it's that
in the house.
localization.
Mm. I mean,
Mm.
there are theories that say places or stone tape theory is a blanket term, but that places hold entities or the ever nebulous energies, whatever energies may be. But it's curious that it almost feels like the truck incident was preparing you for the encounter in the real world, as it were, almost a introduction to this. Things might be scary, however, we are not.
I almost feel that it opened a door to it
Yeah, sounds like
rather
it.
than
Yeah.
prepare anything that's going to scare you. It was like once I cleared that energy from the house,
Mm.
other energies, more friendly energies emerged.
Why, I see. Yes, that's interesting too. Yeah, like you literally rolled it up and put it away, and then that let others come to the fore. It's fascinating, really, because I always think, well, yes, dreams, okay, it'd be easy to say, but one thing's just a dream and the other thing's happening in life. But I always have this question: where do we go when we do dream? Where do we go? Because sometimes experiences like that can feel like you have traveled into a realm where these things happen rather than them just being, you know, images on a screen that you observe whilst you're unconscious, if you know what I mean.
I feel that with dreams, rather than e- entering a realm, which it depends what kind of level of analysis you look at it. Really,
Mm.
I think that I'm always interested in dreams that the characters and places that you see and experience in a dream, they appear to be independent from you,
Yes,
but neurologically speaking, they're not independent from you. They are an aspect of yourself
because you've
which is
somehow
expressed.
created them. Yeah.
What's interesting is that they're expressing themselves in a way that appears to be independent. So you get in touch with parts of yourself which you wouldn't otherwise do. I think that's the natural part of of dreaming, but this felt this felt very different, and still feels different when I even remember it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. It's almost, yeah, other undiscovered parts of yourself behaving as independent entities. You know, you talk about the id and what is it? The id and the ego and the other one. I can't remember the other one. But then maybe there are other layers and other levels of self that, I mean, we don't have answers, right? It's all speculative and contemplation on our part. But yeah, it's fascinating. And that's a really, thank you for your call. I like that. I like that. I do.
Oh no, you're very welcome. Very welcome. And honestly, your show is perfect.
Almost. We're almost perfect, yes. I'll take that though. I'll take that for the closer of the show, you guys. We're perfect. Excellent. Thank you, sir, very much for your call. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Bye now.
Cheerio, good night. Well, that was a fabulous one to end the show on. I have not got to any of my emails. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing there? Pressing the wrong buttons. Pressing all the wrong buttons now because it's bedtime. But yes, I've got several emails, so I've got to apologise to Neil, Mayaki Boy, John. John sent me a couple. John Eyre, that is. Andy, Philip, HB. I've seen all of your emails, just haven't had chance to get to them tonight. I do apologise. We've run long as well. Next week, it is, of course, Halloween, and you would expect that old Eerie would have something for you. However, I shall be doing a thing off air on Halloween that may mean I don't get back into the studio here until quite late. So next week, Friday, it might literally be midnight in the vault. It may be a midnight start. I shall have to keep you informed the closer I get. I realise that may mean people are just gone to bed, and I don't blame you. But it may be a late show. I shall have to keep you informed through the week just to see if I think I'm going to be able to manage it. But yes, that's what's happening next week. Thanks ever so much again for all the callers, emailers. I'm sorry I haven't got to your stuff just yet. I will do at some point, I promise you. And it's good night from me, and good night from me again. Good night.